Hello, World Wide Web. Welcome back to the Hangin' With Web Show. I'm GW Pomacher. Thanks for logging on and tuning in. If you haven't done it already, go on and hit subscribe and the little notification button so you can come back over and over again. See some amazing. We got cosplayers, authors, filmmakers, comic creators, entertainers of all kinds here at ICC Con 3, and we're here hanging with cosplayer Rick, the True Aquaman, Stafford. Rick, thanks for hanging with us, man.
My pleasure.
This is amazing.
Thank you.
Fantastic stuff. Now, we have bumped into you at conventions all year.
Yes, I get around.
And usually in the classic Aquaman.
Correct.
Quite the upgrade.
Yeah. This is King Aquaman.
This is
King Aquaman.
King Aquaman. It really was an upgrade. See, you get promoted. So you designed this.
I designed this. It was constructed by Prince Armory out of Texas. Took him over a year, but we sat down for about 3 months hashing out the design to finally get it to be.
And what is this? What is this made of?
Leather.
Leather. This is all leather.
Yeah, full leather suit.
Wow. That's amazing. It really is amazing. While designing this, where did you draw your inspiration from? A comic or from? Is there a particular...
Both comic. Well, comic because of the fact that Aquaman is a king, designed from Game of Thrones. Because all of the kings in Game of Thrones all have this beautiful regal armor, and everyone knows Aquaman to be in the spandex. Well, you've seen me in a lot.
Character,
yeah, the classic spandex. But if you're ruling a nation that is, the biggest nation of the world, 3/4 of the world's covered in water, that is his domain. You're not going to just be wearing spandex when you're ruling your people. So
it's valid. It's valid. I even around the house, I try not to do much ruling in spandex.
Yeah, you don't get away with a whole lot.
No, you don't. They don't take you as seriously as they're supposed to. We come to these conventions. I got a lot of Supermans, a lot of Batmans, got some Captain Americas, got a lot of Harley Quinns the last couple of years.
Oh yeah.
Not a lot of Aquaman.
No.
What drew you to this character? What did you love about this character?
Well, honestly, totally honest, I did not pick it. It was picked for me.
Really?
Yeah, I was first well known as Iron Man. I had an 85-pound Iron Man costume. Everybody just went gaga about it. The group of people I was hanging with at the time all started to go to the DC side, and they're like, "Oh, Rick, you should be Aquaman." I'm like, "I don't want to be Aquaman. Nobody likes Aquaman. He's kind of a second-string superhero in the Justice League." And they're, "Oh, come on." So finally,
I just want to, Jason Momoa, we didn't mean it, man.
Yeah,
it's okay. Don't take it personal. We moved you up. We're promoting you to the first string.
Yeah. So I actually, I finally gave in to peer pressure, started doing it. And in the first year, it was hard because I went from being a photo darling as Iron Man, because everybody loved Iron Man at the time, to, oh, here's Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman, let's get photos with them. Okay, all right, Aquaman, if you want to get in there, that's fine, you can get in the shot. Well, then the New 52 came out, a series through DC, and the storylines were rewritten. His character became pretty awesome. And people were like,
Aquaman kicks butt now.
He does. He really
does. Now, in fairness, Aquaman always kind of kicked butt.
He did, but he was underrated.
I think our generation, we got sort of ruined for Aquaman because we had Super Friends.
Super Friends, yeah.
And of all of our Super Friends, Aquaman didn't seem to have the most recognizable power.
Right.
So now a new generation, we can dive into backstory, we can dive into the Atlantean culture. Now he gets to be a badass again.
Yep. And I've been lucky enough to be riding that wave. Huh, pun intended.
See that? See what he did there?
Yeah.
Come on, internet, you know what he's doing. Iron Man, Aquaman. Favorite convention moment? What's just the coolest thing that's happened to you at a con?
Okay, you're gonna love this one. I was leaving MegaCon in Orlando about 5 years ago. I was in the classic Aquaman, the black brief version. I do 9 versions of Aquaman right now currently.
9.
So, yeah, 9.
9 versions of Aquaman.
Yeah.
You're like the Aquaman.
I own it. I take ownership. So I'm leaving, and an old woman walks up and says, "Can my husband have a photo with you?"
The movie's coming out pretty soon. You're gonna have to grow dreads.
We're not gonna go there.
You know what? He's gonna do a fantastic job. He's gonna breathe a new life into a cinematic character.
But it's destroying the iconic Aquaman.
The notion, a lot of times. It might be something that's needed, but I'm not, a lot of times we harken back to the visual of something in order to give us a memory. So if you're going to overcome the visual, Jason Momoa, if you're out there, you're going to really have to bring it, brother. Because you have to overcome our preconceived notion.
Yeah.
So which means you're going to have to act the hell out of that character.
Yeah.
And that's hard.
It is. Unfortunately, I'm not having high hopes for it. But I'm not a big Snyderverse fan. Personal preference. Okay, so getting back, old woman wants me to take a photo with her husband. I walk over, I do my poses with this old gentleman, my hero pose, as I always do. And as I go to walk away, the old man reaches out and grabs my arm. And he goes, "You're just as I imagined you would look." I thank him. I appreciate that. I go to walk away, he grabs me again. He goes, "No, you're the living embodiment of my imagination." Okay. Wow. Getting a little creepy, but he's an old man. I could take him if I had to. You get those weird fans. And he finally says, "You don't know who I am, do you?" I said, "No, sir, I don't." He goes, "I'm Nick Carty. I invented Aquaman."
Wow.
And I'm on my way to a panel with Jack Kirby, Stan Lee, and George Perez on the golden age of comics. I saw you, and I had to have a photo with you because you, as I was drawing it, you truly are Aquaman in every sense of the word. And that's how I got my name.
Do you get any better story than that? The guy who created your character, you did it. You spot on. You hit it. You were the embodiment of what he saw when he created that character.
Yep.
And back again, and people tend to forget. As many times it's been redone and more backstory and less backstory, and now again, like we said, a new look. As many times as things have been redone. Here's the guy that invents a character in the golden age of comics.
Yep.
And you hit the mark.
Yep.
No higher praise, right?
Yeah, I could say it. Yeah, it doesn't get much better than that. And
well, we have a segment of our show. We're going to throw some links down below so people can find you on the web. They can follow you and see what you're cosplaying next, and to see where and when one of your 9
cosplays,
Aquaman cosplays are going on.
I'm actually working on number 10.
Working on number 10?
Yeah, and from the Super Friends, actually.
Really?
Yeah, it's a Super Friends inspired version. Evil Aquaman.
What's that?
Evil Aquaman.
Evil Aquaman.
So, yeah, with the eye patch and
yes.
and the kryptonite gun.
Wow. Yeah. That ought to be interesting. So, what we do in this part of the show is we've gone to the internet.
Okay.
And we have looked up and trolled some of the weirdest, wonkiest, funniest questions, or just some personal questions, so that we can let people know you.
Okay.
We can let them know Rick, okay? So, if you had to fill a swimming pool with anything except water, Aquaman, what would it be?
Oh, except water. Wow, that is a hard one. Other than water in a swimming pool, you know what? I think marbles would be a cool thing to have a swimming pool full of.
Don't dive in.
Yeah.
But when you get in there, it'll be cool.
Yeah, it'd just be a kind of
awesome. Okay, so especially today in the convention world, we spend a lot of time on social media, sharing pictures, sharing things, trolling that Facebook feed or Twitter feed. What's the last meme or GIF that made you laugh out loud, that really just grabbed you?
It was somebody had taken a poodle, shaved it down to where it just had the pom-poms on the palms and the top of the head, and then painted it like a zebra. And the thing was running around crazy in a yard. And it just
poodle.
Yeah.
I don't know where it is. We're going to try to find it. If we can find it, we're going to spin it up over there.
It's totally worth it.
Okay. So, what do you think is the weirdest thing about, you just asked a cosplayer what the weirdest thing about him is. The internet just looked at me like I was crazy. What is the weirdest thing about Rick?
Weirdest thing about Rick.
What won't I find in a Google search?
Oh, you won't find it in a Google.
Yeah.
I put a lot of stuff out there.
Okay, maybe I will find it in a Google search.
Oh, let's see. Weirdest thing. Let's see. I'm a real life aquanaut. I've lived underwater for multiple days in habitats under the water.
Really?
Yep. I have over 5,000 hours of log dive time.
And it never occurred to you to do Aquaman instead of Ironman?
No, and I've also swam around the island of Key West in 4.5 hours. I did a 13-mile swim.
Around?
Non-stop. Yeah.
He is Aquaman.
And I worked for Disney for 13 years as a shark diver. My job was to keep sharks and divers apart.
Need you any more proof? He's Aquaman.
And all right, and not to bring this down, and my son passed away, so I do have a dead son like Aquaman. So yeah, so it, sometimes, you know, fact is weirder than fiction, and so yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring it down.
No.
I'm good. I'm
you
good.
know what? The whole purpose of hanging with you is to get to know you, so that fans and those people that are going to see you at conventions up the road get to know the guy that's inside the suit. There's a guy inside the suit. There's a dad.
Well, and that's why I cosplay.
Awesome.
I mean, that's my whole reason for cosplaying is because of him. Because my son, he died of leukemia at age 8 in my arms, and he didn't get to grow up. So why should I? You know, what better reason to cosplay?
If any of you have a dry eye right now, there's something wrong with you. That is the best answer to why a person cosplay that I've ever heard. That's a living memorial, and that's amazing. And
I'm sorry.
all right, we're gonna. I'm not crying. Stop making fun of me. I'm not crying. Maybe I am. I could be. Where are you going to be next, man? Where are you going to be?
Let's see. Infinity Con's coming up. I'll be at Infinity Con. I will be at Space Coast Comic Con in September. I'll also be appearing back at Dragon Con this year. I'll be back at Dragon Con. I took in a couple of years off, so I'll be back for Dragon. So yeah, so that's a few of the ones coming up.
Fantastic. Well, check out those. We're going to put links down below so that you can find Rick all over social media. Stop by, take a look at his pictures. If you see him in a con, stop by and take a picture and say hey, and let him know how much you appreciate the hard work that goes into this. It's an amazing costume. Amazing costumes, because we've seen you in several of your Aquaman. And you know what? Now we know more. And what an amazing tribute. What's your boy's name?
Christian.
Christian's up there somewhere. You got to be proud of Dad, because it's an amazing tribute. Very well done. Thank you so much, Rick. As we wrap it up, let's say thanks to our partners and our friends over at Something Unique Magazine, Space Coast Comics, Wordfire Press, Famous Faces Funnies, Off the Chain Radio with author Yvonne Mason. And I'm going to take just one real quick moment to say I love you to all my boys. I'm GW Pomacher, and we have been hanging with cosplayer Rick, the True Aquaman, Stafford. Remember, folks, subscribe, log on, tune in, and see who we're hanging with next.
Wow.